Howdy mates, good late morning. Here's a part 2 video today. Still at the Oscar Scherer State Park, but I'm right now in the Hardwood Hammock setting. But as part of this video, I want to focus it upon another native plant that is found in the state of Florida. So without further ado, let's dive into it, shall we? Here we go. So, right here. Some of you may have seen plenty of these while you're out on the trails down here. But some of you may not know the particular name of the plant. So this is my opportunity to really provide an in-depth explanation. So what we're looking at in particular is something called Psychotria nervosa. Now, that's the scientific name, but its common name is usually the shiny-leaved coffee plant, or wild coffee. Yeah, shiny-leaved wild coffee. Now, your first question that may come to mind is, since it has coffee in its name, can you use it? Is it similar to the coffee that we use? Well, I hate to break it to you guys, but this plant is not like our common coffee. See, like the coffee that we like to drink, from the actual bean itself, that is a whole separate plant, which is actually called Coffea arabica. And that's just one of many types of coffee that is brewed. But that Coffea arabica is the most sought after. And as a matter of fact, when I was actually studying abroad in Costa Rica last year, prior to the pandemic happening, I actually had a chance to see true coffee. Now, with that being said, the shiny-leaved wild coffee should be called fake coffee. It actually doesn't have caffeine, which is usually that common stimulant that many of us crave in the morning for us to wake up. Me personally, I only have coffee every once in a while. I like to have it as a treat. But the thing is, the shiny-leaved wild coffee, they don't produce beans. Rather, they kind of produce like these little, they're like fruits, in a sense, almost like berries. So like you can easily crush them, and then they just have seeds, which can then spread out, disperse. Now, in terms of whether it's edible, that is sort of in question. Like our wildlife, whether it be birds, mammals, or even our reptiles, they can eat the fruits just fine, as it's part of their diet. And with it being a native plant, of course it's going to be fed on very highly. But then in terms of whether it's edible for humans, that's kind of in question. Like, you can maybe eat, just a couple, but avoid eating a bunch of it at one time, in one setting. And here's another thing too, like I read about this plant, like it can be brewed, but the thing is you're not going to have the result that you desire. And it's actually been noted for people who've had it before, it actually can induce vomiting and high discomfort in your digestive system. Not only that, but it can also cause nausea. Like you could have a severe headache all of a sudden if you have too much of it as well. So, really hate to say it to you guys, but it's really best to not really ingest this plant. I mean, you can, but the thing is, my philosophy that I like to use is the fact that if you're not really sure what it will do, it's best to just leave it be. However, though, there are similar species to the wild coffee, or the shiny-leaved wild coffee. You know, certain, like, other species in South America actually have been used for medicinal benefit. You know, to help with fevers, stomach aches, and other various illnesses. But really, this one in particular, this specific species, there doesn't really seem to be a high emphasis on medicinal benefit. So, that's why, honestly, it's just really best to just leave it be. And like I said, mates, you know, with most of my videos that I make, I usually share an article or two, which you can read more on the plant. So, just a slight change of subject. Going back to the plant, they call it shiny-leaved because if it's like in the proper lighting, it can actually reflect light quite well. You know, it actually appears a little glossy. And with that being said, too, as part of its scientific name, specifically the species of nervosa, they actually have all of these veins that appear in the leaf. Kind of similar to looking at a nervous system in a human being. And then, I don't think it's coincidence either that the genus has Psychotria. Like it starts with psycho? It might raise a red flag. But rest assured, though, there are indeed other species similar to it that are used for medicinal benefit, as I said earlier. And as I mentioned earlier too, it's not the same thing as coffee. It's a whole separate thing. But they do like more of that high moisture soil, so sort of like mesic, and which makes sense because you figure we're in a hardwood hammock. So that means the water, you know, given the roots from, you know, this live oak or even our cabbage palm, really provides more opportunity for the water to be retained. So it doesn't, the draining amount is a bit moderate. So it gives opportunity for the soil here to have more moisture for these plants to thrive. And oftentimes you'll only find them in hardwood hammocks because they're more of those, what you call, shade-loving plants. I mean, they like some sunlight, but they also have to have shade as well. So it's quite neat, you know. Certain plants tell you about the moisture in the soil or what type of surrounding or habitat that you're in. Yeah, you can find those just about anywhere in Florida, you know, from the northern regions to even the Keys. Just going for a little stroll. But it's alright, you guys. I hope you enjoyed that little video segment. I know this was a bit of a longer one, but I really wanted to talk about the shiny-leaved wild coffee. It's been a minute since I've done a video on it, so I thought I'd bring it back, as it were. So, okay, you guys, take care. Enjoy your Wednesday, and Journey on a Journey is outwards. Take care, folks. See ya.